the we are also the Labor Law Office of the Wage Indicator Foundation, where we work on the labor law database, as well as we produce this huge work on comparative labor law, where we compare labor legislation in 135 countries. At the same time, this is going to be our third version of the Labor Rights Index this year. On 7th October, the Decent Work Day, the World Day for Decent Work, we are launching the third version of the Labor Rights Index, where we are planning to compare 145 countries and their labor legislation. So this is about the Center for Labor Research. Now, and I'll come to the Living Tariff Tool. Living Tariff Tool is a collaboration between the Wage Indicator Foundation and the German Development Cooperation Organization, JIZ. The aim of the tool is to help people who are working in the platform economy to know what should be their fair compensation. But before I go forward, I would like to give you an overview of the platform economy in this country and what the situation is. We all know Pakistan is the 6th most populous country in the world, having more than 240 million people. And we also know that we hear a talk of youth bulge in this country, where more than 2/3 of the population is under the age of 30 years. What does it mean? It means that nearly 160 million people are under the age of 30. This is youth bulge, but then can it become a productive workforce? The unfortunate thing is that most of the youth don't have access to the gainful employment opportunities for one reason or the other. If you look at the labor force, more than 80% of the labor force in Pakistan's economy is engaged in the informal sector without any access to the labor law protections. And since 2015, for the last 9 years, the platform economy, when the platform started working and people started exploring the employment opportunities in the platform economy, there has been a rise in the informal sector or those work or that type of workforce which does not have access to any of the workplace rights. But at the same time, what the platform economy does is it allows people to be part of the labor force. Those people who could not get employment opportunities, or those for those people for whom it was difficult to join the labor market, it creates employment opportunities. For example, for female workers who would find it difficult to travel to a workplace every day for a couple of hours, the freelancing option, the online work, the cloud work allows them to be part of the labor market and use the skills that they have learned during their schooling and college years and during their degrees. Similarly, it allows the persons with disabilities who can be part of the labor force and they don't have to deal with the situations where not only the local labor legislation but also the culture does not allow them to be part of the labor market. Similarly, it allows the youth to be part of the labor market because but then before I talk about youth, I would need to give you one key number, and that is that nearly 22 million people in this country of 240 million, they are not engaged in any kind of employment activity. They are neither in employment nor in schooling nor in training. They are not doing anything. And at the same time, you need to consider one more number, and that is 23 million people, no, 23 million children who are out of school. When you combine these two numbers, it is equivalent to 46 million young people who neither have access to employment, nor to education, nor to schooling. So this is equivalent to 1/6 of 16% of your population that neither have access to employment opportunities, nor they are getting any skills. But then at the same time, for example, if you're working with the location-based platform work, it allows you the employment opportunities, because what is needed to be a delivery worker is the access to a bike that you have, and then you just need to have all the documents in place that you can have the bike on the road. So yes, it helps people join the labor market in such a quick manner that it would not be doable for the numbers. When you look at the numbers, there are 2 million people engaged in the platform economy in this country, and of these, nearly 1 million are engaged in the freelancing, and more than 800,000 workers are engaged in the location-based platform work. This tool is important for these workers, especially those who are engaged in the location-based platform work, because our work indicates that most of the workers in the location-based platform work, they do not get the minimum wage even, leave alone the living wage. And there's already a huge gap between the minimum wages notified by the government and the living wages which are there. For example, the minimum wage in this country, which is given by the provincial governments, is 32,000 rupees. And there's a gap of 20,000 rupees between the living wages and the minimum wages. So at the same time, this situation also creates a phenomenon of platform debt, where the workers who are working with the platforms, they are paying from their own pockets to keep doing the work with the platforms. So to deal with this situation, the Wage Indicator Foundation and JIZ have worked on this tool to ensure that a platform worker should have access to the type of expenses that they are going to make during their work with the platforms, the first thing. Secondly, it also helps the companies, as well as it also helps the governments to understand the type of expenses that are being made by the platform workers, and it can help them raise the minimum wages as well as the living wages in the country. With this, I would like to hand it over to the team at the Center for Labor Research to go ahead with the webinar. Thank you so much. One moment, there was a hand, and I was seeing by Martin.
Yeah, it was me. I was checking because we only see the first slides here.
Yes, I decided not to show all the slides.
Okay, sorry. No problem. No problem.
Yes.
I thought that something was going wrong. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
सर इनको बोलें अगर ये हमारे साथ ये जो स्क्रीन शेयरिंग मल्टीपल लोगों के साथ वो वाला ऑप्शन अगर सेलेक्ट कर लें.
I'm doing
Sir,
it. You have the option now to share screens. Okay.
Okay. Hello everyone. Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon. I extend my greetings to everyone participating in this webinar today. I am Tasmeena Tahir, Research Associate at the Center for Labor Research, Pakistan. Thank you all for joining us in this auspicious launching event of the Living Tariff Tool in Pakistan. The Living Tariff is essential for gig workers because it provides an overview of their actual income, helping them understand what a minimum wage should be for their profession to maintain a decent standard of living. It also allows them to make well-informed decisions about their work and income. Essentially, it helps gig workers, self-employed workers, and freelancers understand how much they need to earn to achieve a sustainable income that covers their living expenses. In our presenting team, we have with us Ms. Ambreen Reyes, Research Associate at the Center for Labor Research, and Ms. Razan Aisha, also a Research Associate at the Center for Labor Research. On our panel here today, we are being accompanied by Mr. Saeed Nazar Ali, who is the Secretary General of the Employers Federation of Pakistan, Mr. Asad Maiman, General Secretary of the Pakistan's Worker Federation Sindh, Ms. Tania Looney, researcher and lecturer, Mr. Mohammed Shanil, CEO Schneider Tech and a full-time freelancer, and Ms. Fahrish Irfan, Assistant Manager at the Institute of Public Opinion and Research. And last but not the least, Mr. Raja Faizul Hassan Faiz, labor law expert. Warm welcome and thanks to all of you. Before moving forward, I will quickly go through a few of the housekeeping rules and would humbly request all of the participants to follow these for the smooth flow of this webinar. I'll be really grateful if we can all stick to these. This event is being recorded and will be posted on Wage Indicator YouTube channel. The webinar consists of tool demonstration, frequently asked questions, followed by panel discussion on the tool, where each speaker will speak for 7 minutes. There will be a question and answer session at the end of the webinar. You can write your questions in the Zoom chat box. We'll try to follow up on the unanswered questions later. One thing to be mentioned is, please try to keep questions precise and to the point, and also stay reminded of the fact that questions will be visible to all the attendees. We will be conducting the event in both Urdu and English, so feel free to speak in either of the languages. A humble request to all the speakers to take care of the time limit. Webinar duration is strictly 90 minutes. Moving forward, now Ambreen Riaz will deliver a presentation addressing frequently asked questions related to the Living Tariff Tool, providing insightful information and clarifications to ensure a thorough understanding of the tool's functionality and its implications. Ms. Ambreen Riaz served as a research associate at the Center for Labour Research, having earned her LLB honors from the University of London. Over the previous year, she has actively participated in comparative labor law research at the Center for Labour Research, contributing to data collection and analysis for various projects. You may start, Ambreen.
Thank you, Tasmina. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining us. To this presentation, we want to encompass what the Living Tariff Tool really is, and to answer a few questions that may arise during this process. We'll start by distinguishing between two key terms, that is a gig worker and a freelancer. A gig worker is someone who undertakes short-term tasks or gigs through various platforms, engaging in a wide array of task-oriented work, from driving for ride-sharing services to completing online tasks. On the other hand, a freelancer is a self-employed skilled professional who provides specialized services to a client on a project-by-project basis. Let's delve into the concept of living tariff. The living tariff refers to the daily amount that a self-employed or a gig worker needs to earn to achieve a living wage. It goes beyond covering daily living expenses and includes work equipment costs, overhead costs, taxes, social security, and savings for potential illnesses or retirement. Now you might be wondering, why is the living tariff tool so important? For starters, the living tariff provides a comprehensive overview of your actual income, helping you understand what the minimum tariff or wage should be for your profession to maintain a decent standard for living. It empowers you to make informed decisions about your work and income, ensuring that you are adequately compensated for your skills and efforts. Let's turn our attention to the main event, that is the living tariff tool. The living tariff tool is a resource for gig workers to effortlessly check and calculate their tariffs or wages. This user-friendly tool considers two factors: the unique nature of their job and the cost of living in their specific region. Created in collaboration between the Wage Indicator and GIZ, the Living Tariff Tool is a response to the exponential growth of the gig economy. As more and more individuals rely on gig work as their primary source of income, the tool aims to address the challenges faced by gig workers in determining fair compensation for their labor. The tool goes beyond a one-size-fits-all approach. It takes into account the diversity of the job types within this economy and the various costs of living across different regions. It takes a comprehensive approach by accounting for all associated costs, as mentioned before, that is the resources, waiting time, and savings for contingencies such as sicknesses and retirement. Now that we've explored the Living Tariff Tool, let's understand the core objectives that drove the Wage Indicator to create this tool. The primary objective is to empower gig workers by providing them with a free and easily accessible tool. The Living Tariff Tool allows the workers to make informed decisions about their gig work, enabling them to negotiate better payment terms and advocate for better working conditions. One of the key goals is to promote transparency within the gig economy, and as it reduces information imbalances between gig workers and employers. It strives to create a fair playing field for all parties involved. It relies on data-driven calculations based on extensive research. This includes a thorough analysis of various job types, utilization of the wage indicator, living wage data, and consideration of legal standards. The result is accurate and up-to-date information that gig workers can trust. Wage Indicator is committed to contributing to the broader discussion on gig worker rights and fair labor practices. The Living Tariff Tool has thus become a pivotal player in advancing the cause of worker rights in the evolving world of platform economy. In essence, the Wage Indicator's objectives transcend mere tool creation. They are a commitment to empower gig workers, promote fairness, and contribute to the ongoing conversation about worker rights. Now that we understand the wage indicator's objectives, let's focus on who can benefit from the Living Tariff Tool and how it caters to the diverse needs of this economy. First of all, it is aimed at self-employed and platform workers. The tool is designed for them, workers who are compensated on a per-job basis. The Living Tariff Tool also caters to a spectrum of work types within the gig economy, whether you're engaged in delivery services, freelancing, housekeeping, microtasks, or providing rides through taxi or ride-hailing platforms. If you're engaged in work that aligns with the above described categories, the Living Tariff Tool is relevant to you, whether you operate within a platform ecosystem or not. It also allows you to personalize your information by adjusting certain variables to fit their specific your specific situation. This ensures that the tool remains flexible and adaptable to the unique circumstances of each gig worker. Thus, the Living Tariff Tool is an inclusive resource embracing the diverse range of gig workers and the multitude of roles available within the gig economy. Now let's delve into the core of the Living Tariff. How is it calculated and the main components that make up this essential method? The Living Tariff Tool comprises of four components: the wage indicator's living wage, work-related equipment cost, overhead cost, income taxes, and social security. Let's break down these individual components. First, coming to the wage indicator living wage. The wage indicator living wage signifies the income necessary for a decent life, surpassing legal minimum wage in many areas. It serves as a critical benchmark for fair compensation within the economy. This comprehensive metric covers essential expenses, including costs related to food, housing, utilities, transport, health, education, and provisions for unexpected events. It goes beyond mere survival, aiming to ensure a dignified standard of living. The wage indicator living wage serves a vital purpose for fair compensation. It acts as a guide to guarantee that gig workers receive a wage that reflects the genuine costs associated with maintaining a decent life. Coming to transportation costs, the Living Tariff Tool employs a dual approach. First, it calculates transportation costs within the living wage component. The tool factors in transportation costs within the living wage component. It covers expenses for a monthly public transportation pass in most places, assuming that each household member should be able to afford a transportation card. In regions where public transportation is not available, the tool converts the cost of one-way ticket to the nearest town into monthly amount. Then the transport cost is also calculated within the work equipment component. This aspect encompasses transportation costs directly related to the job. It includes expenses for vehicles such as cars or motorbikes, their fuel, and their maintenance services. For instance, this applies to gig workers like taxi drivers or riders. The data is derived from the wage indicator cost of living surveys occupation related item section. When on the topic of calculating costs, it is crucial to recognize that gig workers utilizing transportation platforms often face higher mobility-related expenses compared to the average workers. To precisely account for these heightened transportation costs, the Living Tariff Tool employs a specific calculation approach, separating transportation costs and including them in the work equipment component for accurate compensation. The tool takes into consideration various vehicle costs, including those associated with cars, motorbikes, and vans. It encompasses, as mentioned before, fuel, services, helmets, and other necessary components. The tool also makes assumptions to approximate the average distances traveled by gig workers. For motorbikes, an average distance of 250 kilometers per week is assumed with a fuel consumption rate of 0.045 liters per kilometer. For cars, the tool assumes an average distance of 220 kilometers per week with a fuel consumption rate of 0.066 liters per kilometer. The data utilized in these calculations is also sourced from the Wage Indicator Cost of Living Survey, ensuring that the tool reflects real-world expenses faced by gig workers. Additionally, the assumptions are made based on statistics obtained from delivery companies, specifically regarding the average kilometers traveled by the driving personnel. Now let's talk about the process of calculating work equipment costs within the Living Tariff Tool, ensuring accuracy and relevance to the real world. The Living Tariff Tool operates on the assumption that the work equipment items such as cell phones, motorcycles, cars have a standard lifespan. A set period of 5 years is assumed for cars. To enhance accuracy and consistency in calculations, a specific time frame is established to distribute the value of each work equipment. This ensures that the costs are spread over a reasonable duration, reflecting the actual usage and wear and tear of the equipment. Collaboration with gig work experts and economists is a crucial aspect of the tool's development. This ensures that the assumptions regarding the standard lifespan align with real-world scenarios. Gig workers can also adjust work equipment costs based on their unique individual conditions. This ensures that the tool remains adaptable to the diverse circumstances and preferences of gig work. As we navigate the dynamic landscape of gig work, it is imperative to understand how the Living Tariff Tool addresses various financial scenarios, ensuring its relevance. The Living Tariff Tool assumes an annual average, acknowledging that gig workers may experience seasonal variances in their income. This annualized approach provides a stable baseline for accounting for fluctuations over the course of the year. While the tool doesn't explicitly factor in emergency funds, users have the ability to customize and include special reserves for financial planning. This recognizes the importance of preparing for unforeseen circumstances and aligns with the financial realities of gig work. The Living Tariff Tool is designed to be adaptable to economic changes, including factors like inflation or recession. Quarterly updates are incorporated to reflect alterations in the cost of living, ensuring that the tool remains responsive to economic shifts. In conclusion, the Living Tariff Tool is not just a static calculator. It is a dynamic companion for gig workers in the evolving economy. It addresses the multifaceted nature of gig work, offering a nuanced and adaptable approach to compensation calculation. By empowering gig workers with the ability to customize, providing flexibility in financial planning, and staying responsive to economic changes, the Living Tariff Tool stands as a testament to Wage Indicator's commitment to supporting the financial well-being of gig workers. Thank you so much. Over to Tasmina.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ambreen, for your informative presentation on the Living Tariff Tool. Your insights have greatly enhanced our understanding, making it easier to navigate and utilize this valuable resource. Moving forward, now Ms. Razan Aisha will show a live demonstration of the Living Tariff Tool, offering a hands-on showcase of its features, functionalities, and practical applications. Ms. Aisha serves as a research associate at the Center for Labor Research, having earned her bachelor's degree in anthropology from the International Islamic University, Islamabad. Over the past year, she has actively participated in comparative labor law research at the center, contributing to data collection and analysis for various projects. Over to you, Ms. Aisha.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Let me share my screen. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Alright.
I have a small comment to make before you go further with your presentation, Razan. It's just
Yes,
to
sir.
indicate that the Living Tariff Tool is a collaboration between the Wage Indicator Foundation and JIZ. I just thought to say it again because yes, the background that I'm using is saying it, but I think it needs to be said clearly as well. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Thank you, Tasmina, and thank you, Amreen, for addressing frequently asked questions. So first of all, to access the tool, you have to Google Living Tariff Tool and open the first website, which is of Wage Indicator. And then among all the countries, select Living Tariff Tool for Pakistan if you want कि आपकी Pakistan में. Also, one more thing, I'll be bilingual for better understanding. So it takes you directly to the tool. जो tool आपको आपके सारे खर्चे सारी cost मिला के बताएगा कि आपको living wage के तौर पे क्या amount earn करनी चाहिए. So the first page of tool looks something like this, जिसमें आप अपना region select कर सकते हैं and then आप अपना platform type को select कर सकते हैं. Let's say we select Punjab. ये वो region है basically जिधर आप अपनी earning कर रहे हैं. So if you are a gig worker, for example, working in province Punjab, तो आप वो select करेंगे और ये tool आपको automatically बता देगा कि पंजाब में as a platform worker काम करके hourly, monthly and yearly आप कितना कमा सकते हैं to achieve a decent lifestyle, which we call living wage. So let's break down these amounts a little bit. So the monthly living wage for a platform worker working in Punjab is the sum of living wage calculated by Wage Indicator through extensive research plus the regional average for social security. But it does not include work-related costs. अगर इस monthly figure में से you want कि आप अपना hourly figure निकालना चाहते हैं, so just simply divide it by 4.33 weeks in a month, and जो भी result आए उसको divide by normal working hours in a week, which is 48 hours for Pakistan according to the labor law. और मंथली में से अगर आप ईयरली निकालना चाहते हैं तो कैलकुलेट करने के लिए सिंपली मल्टीप्लाई कर दें द मंथली अमाउंट बाय 12. मूविंग ऑन, फिर आप सेलेक्ट करेंगे अपना प्लेटफॉर्म टाइप, लेट्स से डिलीवरी प्लेटफॉर्म वर्कर, एंड देन टाइप ऑफ वर्क इज मोटरसाइकिल डिलीवरी. And then the tool takes you to the page जिधर आपको standard amounts दी गई हैं, average amounts calculated by the wage indicator, चाहे वो total living wage है, चाहे वो social security है या work related costs है. Work related cost basically refers to the expenses incurred by the workers for the tools or equipments or anything they need to perform their work effectively, जैसे कि smartphone, internet connection, packages, fuels, helmet, etc. तो पहले स्टैंडर्ड एवरेज फिगर्स कैलकुलेट कर लेते हैं, कैलकुलेट जो हुए में है वो देख लेते हैं, एंड देन हम टूल को पर्सनलाइज कर देंगे. सबसे पहले नेट लिविंग वेज के लिए एक्सक्लूडिंग सोशल सिक्योरिटी एंड वर्क रिलेटेड कॉस्ट और ओवरहेड कॉस्ट, लेट मी explain what is overhead cost. So overhead time is the time spent on activities related to workers' work but which is not billable to the clients. तो अगर कोई इंसान, कोई बंदा एक हफ्ते में 48 आवर्स काम करता है, 314 दिन काम करता है साल में, तो उसे 213 रुपीज़ पर आवर कमाने चाहिए. अब क्योंकि प्लेटफॉर्म वर्कर्स के यहाँ पेड लीव्स का कोई कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं है, फेस्टिव डेज पे पेड लीव्स का कोई कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं है, वैसे भी एनुअल लीव्स का कोई कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं है, पेड एनुअल लीव्स का. तो अगर कोई प्लेटफॉर्म वर्कर अपनी स्टैंडर्ड लीगल लीव्स जो कि 14 दिन एनुअल लीव के हैं एंड 14 दिन फेस्टिव डे लीव्स के हैं अवेल करता है, तो वो टोटल वर्किंग आवर्स में से उसके माइनस हो जाएंगे. तो 314 से कम होके उसके टोटल वर्किंग डेज हो जाएंगे 286 पर ईयर. अब इन वर्किंग आवर्स के हिसाब से उसे उसके काम के 233 रुपीज़ मिलने चाहिए पर आवर. एंड देन ये वो रीजनल एवरेज है जो वेज इंडिकेटर ने सोशल सिक्योरिटी रिजर्वेशन के लिए कैलकुलेट की है. फिर अब हम इस टूल को थोड़ा पर्सनलाइज करेंगे. पंजाब में एज अ मोटरसाइकिल डिलीवर अगर कोई वर्कर काम कर रहा है तो एनुअल लीव्स और फेस्टिव लीव्स ज़ाहिर है एज आई मेंशन कि उनको नहीं मिलती हैं, तो हम एवरेज 10 अमाउंट लिख देंगे कि अगर वो किसी भी चीज़ के लिए 10 छुट्टियाँ ले रहा है तो 10 हमने यहाँ पे एंटर कर दिया. देन ऑल्सो ये जो पर्सनलाइज फिगर्स हम डाल रहे हैं ये कोई हाइपोथेटिकल फिगर्स नहीं है, दे आर बेस्ड ऑन फील्ड डाटा। रावलपिंडी में काम करने वाले जो मोटरसाइकिल डिलीवरर्स हैं उनका ये डाटा एंटर किया गया एवरेज वाला। हमारे डाटा के मुताबिक जो ज़्यादातर प्लेटफॉर्म वर्कर्स हैं या ज़्यादातर जो मोटरसाइकिल डिलीवरर लेट से हैं वो एक हफ्ते में 6 दिन काम करते हैं, 6 दिन से कम कोई काम नहीं करता एवरेज, और 1 दिन का वो ऑफ लेते हैं, और हफ्ते में 48 के बजाय वो 60 आवर्स काम करते हैं। तो टूल इस डाटा के हिसाब से आपकी आवरली, मंथली और ईयरली अमाउंट बगैर सोशल सिक्योरिटी के अभी और बगैर वर्क रिलेटेड और ओवरहेड कॉस्ट के कैलकुलेट करके देगा, और इसे हम मार्क कर देंगे ए। और एंड में क्योंकि हमें इन सब का सम करना है तो हम साथ साथ ए, बी, सी एंड डी को मार्क कर दे देंगे। तो दिस इज आर ए। ऑल्सो साथ ही ये टूल आपको बता देगा कि जो वेज इंडिकेटर के कैलकुलेटेड स्टैंडर्ड एवरेज अमाउंट्स हैं उससे आपकी पर्सनलाइज अमाउंट्स का क्या डिफरेंस है। ऑलराइट, देन हाँ, वर्क रिलेटेड कॉस्ट जैसे आपका फ़ोन है, आपके पैकेजेस हैं, आपका फ्यूल वगैरह है, उस पर कितना खर्चा आता है उसके लिए पर्सनलाइज अमाउंट डालें। तो लेट्स से एक मोटरसाइकिल डिलीवर को फ़ोन और पैकेजेस जैसे खर्चे के लिए महीने में 1500 रुपीज़ वो उसका इस पर खर्चा आता है, और बाइक के फ्यूल मेंटेनेंस वगैरह पे 18,000 रुपीज़ पर मंथ वो खर्च करता है। इसके अलावा कोई भी अगर एक्स्ट्रा कॉस्ट है तो वो टूल आपको अलाउ करता है कि वो आप मिसलेनियस वर्क रिलेटेड कॉस्ट वाले सेक्शन में डाल दें। तो लेट्स से एवरेज 4,000 रुपीज़ उसका मिसलेनियस कॉस्ट पे खर्चा है, और जो अमाउंट फिर ये टूल कैलकुलेट करके देगा हम उसको बी मार्क कर देंगे। देन फिर टूल आपको ये भी अलाउ करता है कि जो खर्चे आप डिक्लेयर नहीं कर सकते, ओवरहेड जिनको हमने बोला है ओवरहेड कॉस्ट, टास्क के बीच जैसे कि आपको वेट करना पड़ रहा है या आपको अपने काम को एडमिनिस्टर करने के लिए या ट्रेनिंग के लिए, इन सब चीज़ों पे आपका जितना भी टाइम जा रहा है तो वो पहले टाइम कैलकुलेट कर टाइम आप एंटर करेंगे तो पहले टोटल टाइम कैलकुलेट करके देगा, एंड देन उस टाइम में अगर आपने काम किया होता, सिंस ये टाइम आपका अनपेड गया है तो इस टाइम में अगर आपने काम किया होता तो आपको अपने काम के कितने पैसे मिलने चाहिए थे, उसको हम मार्क कर देंगे सी। मूविंग ऑन, लास्ट पोर्शन में सेक्शन में जो टूल है वो आपको ये भी अलाउ करता है कि आप अपने इनकम टैक्सेस एंड सोशल सिक्योरिटी के लिए पर्सनलाइज फिगर लिखें। जो इनकम टैक्स है उसके जो स्टैंडर्ड अमाउंट्स कैलकुलेटेड हैं, सिंस यू हैव टू एनीवे पे टैक्स, बट हमारे जो डाटा था उससे हमें पता चला था कि हमारे जो पेंशन की रिजर्वेशन है, हमारे जो सिकनेस की रिजर्वेशन है, चाहे वो मेडिकल कॉस्ट वगैरह की रिजर्वेशन है, वो प्लेटफॉर्म वर्कर्स अपने लिए नहीं रखते हैं, रिजर्व करके नहीं रखते हैं, बिकॉज ऑफ कोर्स उनको अभी अगर मिनिमम वेज और लिविंग वेज ही उनकी पूरी नहीं हो रही है तो वो सोशल सिक्योरिटी के लिए रिजर्वेशन रखना इज काइंड ऑफ डिफिकल्ट फॉर देम। सो यहाँ पे इस वजह से हमने ज़ीरो फिगर डाला है। तो इनकम टैक्सेस अगर पर मंथ एक वर्कर को 366.14 रुपीज़ पे करने हैं तो जो टूल है उसके अकॉर्डिंग, कैलकुलेशंस के अकॉर्डिंग 1.45 रुपीज़ पर आवर उसको इसके लिए मिलना चाहिए, इसको हम मार्क कर देंगे डी। देन हमारे पास ए, बी, सी एंड डी चारों आ गए हैं, तो यहाँ से इन सब का सम हो जाएगा तो आपकी पर्सनलाइज लिविंग वेज आपके पास आ जाएगी, और जो पर्सनलाइज लिविंग वेज आपके पास आई है it's the amount that you should be earning, it's not the amount you are earning right now, currently earning, और फिर इस अमाउंट को आप अपनी करंट अर्निंग के साथ कंपेयर करेंगे और देखेंगे कि either you are earning लिविंग वेज जितना या you are not earning लिविंग वेज जितना। so that's it, thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Aisha, for walking through us the Living Tariff Tool with such ease and clarity. And I'm sure that you have made it really easy for our audience to understand how the tool works. Thank you very much. Before moving towards our panelists for further discussion on this tool, I would like to emphasize on the small point here. This tool assists workers in determining what they need to earn for a decent income based on their specific work. It is obligatory upon policymakers, unions, and platforms to take action and ensure that these income standards are met. For expert opinions of our panelists on this tool, I would like to request Mr. Saeed Nazar Ali, who is the Secretary General of the Employers Worker Federation of Pakistan. He is also the Chief Executive of the Skill Development Council. He is also the Director of the Global Compact Network Pakistan. Saeed Nazar Ali has over 39 years of expertise in institution building, policy development, and consultancy services in the technical, vocational, educational, and training. He has a distinguished career of working in government and with international organizations, such as the International Labour Organization, as a national expert, and in Skill Development Council, Karachi, as a Chief Executive Officer, along with many other portfolios. Thank you, sir, for joining us here today. Please share with us your feedback on the tool. And also please address, we have some questions for you.
Thank you.
There, sir?
Yeah. I'm audible. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can hear you well, sir.
Thank you.
We can hear you well.
Thank you. First, Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon to everyone. I'm really happy to be a part of this launching event of this Living Tariff Tool being presented by Center for Labor Research. My special thanks to Iftikhar Sahab and the Center for Labor Research for bringing this invaluable tool created by wage indicators to us, into our attentions. The gig workers, by virtue of being not regulated under the various legislations and by virtue of their way of working, they basically encounter a number of challenges and issues, and that's also include financial instability and receiving inadequate income because they are not able to properly calculate their income, and similarly for the employer for whom they are working and a part-time or as a freelance workers, they also not realize their importance most probably. And this living tool, tariff tool, will help them to understand and determine the basically reasonable income and wages that may be a part of the living wages in accordance with their jobs and the nature of work they are performing. The best part of this tool is, and the most important feature of this tool is its holistic approach that consider the cost associated with the work of the gig workers. And that may include so many things, including, for example, waiting time, including for other, as pointed out and elaborated by some of our speakers prior to my presentation, including retirement, and in this way, they help the workers in achieving sustainable income. So this is very important, and I think these things were very needed. And the Center of the Wage Indicator and the Center of Labor Research really deserve appreciation for these reasons. And it is also important for the companies. The companies, by incorporating this living tool tariff tool, can promote and work and align their wages, system of wages with these equitable or in accordance with the commensuration of their the work of the workers. And I think this tool also provide avenues to the organizations, to the employers who are the employers of the gig workers, to collectively work and develop a mechanism for improving the overall well-being and life of the gig workers, while also working for the sustainability and branding of their work. So this is, I think, to me, this from Employers Federation of Pakistan, where I will really like to appreciate this initiative and a great work done. It was badly needed, particularly though in Pakistan, the general workers are already facing so many problems, but to talk about the gig workers, but at least having a code or having a mechanism that can support the working and that can support or they provide the basis of some standard system and formula is very good. However, I will suggest the need, and I mean, it's an initial stage, the need for including more and more data into it under the specific sectors, because there are a number of sectors for which these gig workers are working, and it will be good if this is done. And also, I think for Pakistan, it would be important to make interaction and collaborate more and more with the employers and employers organizations. And also I think we also need to have a discussion on this subject, having a representation of the gig workers, the government representative, employers, and the trade union and others, so as to formulate a win-win situation and to find out some sort of a mechanism to support the gig worker in Pakistan. At the end, I would like to once again thanks the Wage Indicator and the Center for Labor Research for their good work and their efforts for improving the lives of the gig worker in Pakistan. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. And I would like to work on the I would like to work on the option that you have just given to engage with all the stakeholders in the coming months, not only about the Living Tariff Tool, but also about the general working conditions of the platform workers in this country.
Exactly.
And I believe this is the right time, considering that the new governments are coming in the coming weeks. So it would be the right time to talk about these issues, because hopefully some of the governments can take this forward and have the right legislation for the platform workers as well.
And Iftikhar, I assure you, while Asad is also sitting is here, that is Pakistan Workers Federation, which is one of the largest worker federation, and the Employers Federation of Pakistan, which is the most accredited and the most representative organizations to talk about the workers' right and the employers' sustainability of the industrial organization, can provide you this forum, and would be happy to work to work for a platform economy or the gig workers, to have some sort of a code of conduct or some sort of a mechanism for this. We are working for example, just to let you know that we are also launching the code of conduct for domestic worker in Sindh. We want, being the signatory of the Decent Work Country program, that's the decent work for all cannot be achieved by excluding any segment of the society or any segment of the workers. So from Employers Federation of Pakistan, I assure my all support.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Moving forward, for our next speaker, we have Mr. Asad Memon. Mr. Memon is General Secretary of the Pakistan's Worker Federation Sindh, bringing specialized expertise in labor laws to his role. He is also the founder of the Global Union of Platform Workers, is an esteemed alumni of Witwatersrand University in Johannesburg, South Africa. He has cultivated a rich academic background to complement his impactful contributions to the field. Mr. Memon, coming to you. Should I ask questions? Yeah. Should I wait for his feedback first?
No, I think we will go ahead with the general feedback, and if needed, we will ask some specific questions as well from Asad. Asad,
thank you, sir.
The floor is yours. Please go ahead. Thank you.
First of all, good evening from Karachi. It's almost good evening here. So I am very happy to participate in the discussion on Living Tariff Tool for platform workers. And I am very thankful to Brother Iftikhar, who always remembering us on discussion on, for platform workers. I will speak in South Asia context. I think the concept of platform workers is very new among the trade unions, the government, as well for policymakers, especially in Pakistan. One of the biggest challenge that the platform workers are not formal employment, as well as not sensitized on the basic labor rights, which can be protect their employment and social protection benefits. Second biggest challenge that the platform workers himself not interested, because traditional platform workers mostly unemployed and jobless people, short time and part-time workers. So जो ऑनलाइन वर्कर है, जो आपकी टैरिफ टूल है, वो बहुत अहमियत का हामिल है और दुनिया में इस पे काम किया जाता है। पाकिस्तान वर्कर्स फेडरेशन ने भी गुज़िश्ता सालों में प्लेटफॉर्म वर्कर्स के हवाले से प्रिफर्ड वर्कर जो आम वर्कर जो काम करते हैं, जो सनती वर्कर्स हैं, उनके लिए एक लिविंग टैरिफ लिविंग वेज का एक चार्ट बनाया था। उस वक्त भी, पिछले साल भी, जब मिनिमम वेज 25,000 थी, तो पाकिस्तान वर्कर्स फेडरेशन की रिसर्च के मुताबिक जो मिनिमम वेज जो होनी चाहिए थी वो 44,000 रुपीज़ होनी चाहिए थी एक आम वर्कर्स की। तो जहाँ ये लिविंग टैरिफ टूल बनाया गया है, तो ये जो है ना बहुत वैल्यूएबल है, न सिर्फ जो कारकुनान के लिए, बल्कि आजिर जो है जब उनके साथ कम्युनिकेशन नेगोशिएशन में जाते हैं, तो ये टूल जो है बहुत मुफीदफुल होगा उनको इस बारे में बताने के लिए कि आम वर्कर्स और प्लेटफॉर्म वर्कर्स जिन मसाइल से गुजरता है, जिन चीज़ों से गुजरता है, उनको वहाँ किन चीज़ों की ज़रूरत है और कितनी वेजिस पे वो बावकार रोजगार काम कर सकते हैं। दूसरा है कि क्योंकि प्लेटफॉर्म वर्कर्स अपने लिए काम को आसान बनाना चाहता है, वो चाहता है कि सवारी जिस पे जा रहा है वो सही हो, ठीक है। फिर उसके बाद वो टूल्स, वो मोबाइल जिसको यूज़ करके वो काम करता है, फिर वो वर्किंग आवर भी देखता है। तो इन सारी चीज़ों को जो है वो लाजमी मद्देनज़र रखते हैं, उन पे लाजमी अखराजात आते हैं, उन चीज़ों पे पैसे रखते हैं। तो उसको भी उसमें जिस आपने बताया, जिसने टूल्स में बताया, जो हमने ड्राफ्ट दिया गया है लिविंग टेरिफ टूल का, उसमें इन सारी चीज़ों को कवर किया गया है। तो मेरे नज़दीक जो है लिविंग टेरिफ टूल जो है वो आजिर और अजीर के लिए कारामद हो सकता है, वही प्लेटफॉर्म वर्कर्स के लिए पॉलिसी बनाते वक्त हुकूमती इदारों के लिए भी नहायत ही कारामद है, ताकि यूनियन नुमाइंदगान जो है पॉलिसी साज मीटिंग्स में इस टूल को इस्तेमाल करते हुए उनको बता सकें कि हम कैसे ये एक वेज उसकी डिटरमाइन कर रहे हैं, कैसे हम आपको ये दे रहे हैं कि इसकी वेज इतनी होनी चाहिए। जैसा कि आपने देखा अभी रिसेंटली लाहौर में डोमेस्टिक वर्कर्स पे बड़ा काम हुआ, तो डोमेस्टिक वर्कर्स के हवाले से बातचीत चलती रही, पॉलिसी साज मीटिंग्स में हम जाते रहे। तो पाकिस्तान की तारीख में पहली बार जो पंजाब है, पंजाब में जो मिनिमम वेज का जो नोटिफिकेशन निकला है, उसमें डोमेस्टिक वर्कर्स की पर आवरली जो है वो वेज को डिफाइन किया गया है कि उसकी उसकी 1 घंटे की उजरत क्या होगी। तो इसी तरह ये टूल जो लिविंग टैरिफ टूल है, ये भी उसमें करामद होगा कि हम जब पॉलिसी साज के साथ बात करें, हमारे पास एक एग्जांपल मौजूद है डोमेस्टिक वर्कर्स के लिए, तो इनकी आवरली जो है वो जब वो साइन इन होता है, आवरली वेज किस तरह डिटरमाइन होगी, कितनी होगी, वो उसमें हो सकता है जब आप उसको किसी कानून के दायरे में लेके आ रहे होंगे। अब वो 12-12 घंटे भी काम कर रहे हैं, 8 घंटे भी काम कर रहे हैं, कोई शॉर्ट टर्म भी काम कर रहे हैं। तो कुछ लोग हैं जो शॉर्ट टर्म में अच्छे पैसे कमा लेते हैं, कुछ लोग हैं जो 12-12, 16-16 घंटे लगा लेते हैं, मगर वो जो उसको वेज मिलनी चाहिए वो उसको नहीं मिलती, उसको काम नहीं मिलता। तो उस वक्त फायदा तो मालिक ले रहा होता है, मगर वर्कर्स जो है वो इसमें पिस रहा होता है। दूसरा ये कि कारकुनान को सिर्फ वेजेस के मसाइल नहीं है, वहाँ उसको उसकी जो एम्प्लॉयमेंट है, उसकी जॉब सिक्योरिटी के भी मसाइल है। ठीक है, मुलाजमत का तहफ़्फ़ुज़ नहीं है, सोशल सिक्योरिटी नहीं है, इलाज मुआवजा नहीं है, एक्सीडेंटल उसकी कोई इंश्योरेंस नहीं है। तो जहाँ उसकी माना उजरत एक संगीन मसला है, वहाँ ये वाले मसाइल भी सारे मसले हैं। और ये वर्कर्स खास तौर पे पीस रेट के तौर पे काम कर रहा होता है, जैसे कि बाइकिया पे हैं, इन ड्राइव हैं, राइडर हैं, आप इसको पीस रेटेड ले लें कि एक जो अगर वो दिन में एक ही मतलब एक ही राइड लेता है, या उसको एक ही राइड मिलती है, या एक ही वो डिलीवरी करता है, तो उसके पूरे दिन के उसको उसी के पैसे उसको मिलेंगे, बिल्कुल उसको राइट्स नहीं मिलती। तो वो वहाँ उसकी मिनिमम वेज कैसे डिटरमाइन होगी, कैसे उसको जो है ना वो दिया जाएगा। मगर जो अहम बात यह है कि जो आपने जो अहम इकदाम उठाया है लिविंग टैरिफ टूल का, ये बहुत वैल्यूएबल है। ये जैसे प्लेटफॉर्म वर्कर्स के दरमियान इसको समझाया जाएगा, वो इसको यूज़ करना शुरू करेंगे, तो उसमें यह है कि कम से कम जिस तरह हम ऑर्गेनाइजिंग में कहते हैं कि हम वर्कर्स को उनके राइट्स बताते हैं, उनको पहले बताते हैं, उनको उनको खड़ा करते हैं कि आप अपने राइट्स के लिए जब तक खुद खड़े नहीं होंगे, तब तक आप जो है वो अपने राइट्स और अच्छी बावकार रोजगार हासिल नहीं कर सकते। तो आपका जो लिविंग टैरिफ टूल है, ये उसमें बहुत संग मेल है कि जब वो इसको यूज करेंगे, इसमें अपने वेज निकालेंगे, तो उस वक्त कम से कम वो उस पर बात कर सकेंगे, बार्गेन कर सकेंगे, और नया रास्ता ढूंढेंगे कि कैसे जो है, जो ये टैरिफ टूल डिटरमाइन कर रहे हैं कि इतनी वेजेस होनी चाहिए, उस पे वो अपना एक अमली कदम जो है वो उठा सकेंगे। दूसरा, जहाँ सनती वर्कर्स मुख्तलिफ इंडस्ट्रीज में काम कर रहे हैं, उनको बहुत सारी मराहत हासिल है। आपने लिविंग टैरिफ टूल में सोशल सिक्योरिटी को तो चले काउंट कर दिया, आपने पेंशन को, जनरल पेंशन को उसमें काउंट किया है, आपने उसमें उसके जो इक्विपमेंट्स हैं उसको काउंट किया है। जो जनरल वर्कर्स काम कर रहे हैं उसमें कुछ चीज़ें और भी हैं। खुसूसी तौर पर एक वर्कर्स अगर काम कर रहा है जहां आप उसको कह रहे हैं कि पेंशन है और उसको अपना यूबीआई और सोशल सिक्योरिटी है, वहां अगर वो डेथ हो जाती है उसकी, तो उसकी डेथ ग्रांट कैसे होगी? ठीक है। पेंशन, बुढ़ापे, सिर्फ पेंशन का जिक्र किया कि बुढ़ापे में उसमें 3 किस्म की पेंशन आती है। माजूरी पेंशन है, विडो पेंशन है, और उसकी सर्वाइवल पेंशन है। ये चीज़ें भी हैं। फिर हर शख्स जो मुख्तलिफ जो है ना मज़ाहिब से होते हैं लोग, मुख्तलिफ अकीदे पे बिलीव करते हैं, उनकी रिलीजियस रसूमात होती हैं। क्योंकि सनती वर्कर्स हैं, उसके लिए तो वर्कर्स वेलफेयर बोर्ड से जो है वो स्कीम्स आती हैं हज की, और उसमें वो जो है वो हज के लिए जाते हैं। तो प्लेटफॉर्म वर्कर्स के लिए भी कोई ऐसी, अगर बिलफर्ज उसको उसमें रजिस्टर नहीं किया जाता यूबीआई सोशल सिक्योरिटी में, या उसको जो है वो इतनी वेज दी जाती हैं कि जिसमें वो अपना यूबीआई और सोशल सिक्योरिटी को कवर से कर सके। यूबीआई बिलफर्ज हमारे इदारे से अगर रजिस्टर्ड नहीं होता, जिस तरह यूबीआई है या सोशल सिक्योरिटी है, अगर उसको इतनी वेज मिलती है और वो अपने आप को किसी इंश्योरेंस कंपनी से रजिस्टर्ड कराता है, ठीक है, अपनी सोशल सिक्योरिटी के लिए, और इसी तरह पेंशन के लिए बीमा पॉलिसी की तरफ जाता है, अगर अगर उसको उतनी वेजेस मिलती हैं, तो उसमें इसको जो ये जो है कवर हो सकता है। इन इन स्कीमों में ऐसी चीज़ें उसको इक्वल टू जो यूबीआई सोशल सिक्योरिटी और वर्कर्स वेलफेयर बोर्ड की स्कीमें। फिर इस लिविंग टैरिफ टूल में मैं समझता हूँ कि जो वर्कर्स हैं, वो लाजमी नहीं कि वो सारी ज़िंदगी एक ही जो जो स्टेशन है उस पे वो काम करता रहे और सारी ज़िंदगी मोटरसाइकिल ही दौड़ाता रहे। वो कमज़ोर भी हो सकता है, ठीक है, वो बीमार भी हो सकता है, वो वक्त के साथ साथ उस काम से बेजार भी आ सकता है, या उसको वो वेजेस जो हैं वो उसको सूट नहीं करती वक्त के साथ साथ, मतलब उसकी ज़रूरियात बढ़ती हैं, बच्चे, स्कूल और यूनिवर्सिटियाँ, ये सारी चीज़ आती हैं। तो उसमें जो प्लेटफॉर्म वर्कर्स है उसके लिए ट्रेनिंग, और उसके लिए जो वोकेशनल ट्रेनिंग है या दीगर ट्रेनिंग से जो उसकी एबिलिटी, उसकी काबिलियत को इन्हेंस कर सके, ताकि वो किसी और जॉब में, किसी और उसमें भले प्लेटफॉर्म टाइप का ही हो, उसमें वो जा सके, ताकि वो अपनी ज़िंदगी के स्टैंडर्ड को मज़ीद बढ़ा सके। तो ये चीज़ें मेरे जहन में हैं। आई थिंक मैंने इसको कवर कर लिया, आपकी जो 3-4 उसमें क्वेश्चन थे।
जी बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया मेमन साहब। I will take a minute only before we proceed further to the next speaker. You talked about domestic work. I really like the idea, but I'm sure you're considering that a lot of workers, domestic workers now, are being engaged through the platforms, where they are saying we are only connecting the consumer who is asking for the services and the domestic worker. So how are we ensuring that these workers have access to all the rights? Are these platforms covered under the Domestic Workers Act or some other act? The first question that I would have for you. Secondly is about the pensions, for example. Yes, I do understand, but then we considered the Social Security and EOBI contribution rates. So we said that since the employer contributes 6% plus 5% plus 1% by the by the worker, and then we also kept 1.6% in the case that the worker cannot find work for some days. So in essence, we are actually adding 13.6% to a worker's calculation of daily and weekly and monthly living tariff to ensure that the person has the relevant income to support them in the event of some accident at work, obviously. And there are so many accidents because those people who are delivering food within a timeline, because now these companies say, yes, we are delivering you in 10 minutes, in 15 minutes, but then that leads to the accidents as well. And one more thing that I would like to ask you, and maybe you can consider that until the governments and the platforms don't recognize these workers as workers, although they are workers, but because they are being controlled by the platforms, maybe the Pakistan Workers Federation and similar trade unions may consider to form cooperatives where they can be so-called employed by these Pakistan Workers Federation and similar organizations, and then they can be registered with the Social Security Institution and EOBI, because in this way, then they will have access to the Social Security. Thank you.
थैंक यू ब्रदर फ़ख़ार। जैसा कि मैं समझा हूँ कि पहले तो आप कह रहे हैं कि वो जो प्लेटफॉर्म वर्कर्स हैं, आया वो किसी लॉ में कवर होते कि नहीं होते। सबसे पहले कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ पाकिस्तान जो है वो कहता है कि हर शख्स जो है वो अपनी पसंद की अंजुमन और एसोसिएशन जो है बना सकता है, ठीक है। और बिल्कुल एग्जैक्टली प्लेटफॉर्म वर्कर्स कहकर किसी लॉ में उसको फ़िलहाल कवर नहीं किया गया, ठीक है। मगर हमारे पास एग्जांपल मौजूद है कि हमने लाहौर में डोमेस्टिक वर्कर्स यूनियन जब लॉ में नहीं थी तब उसको हमने वहाँ बनाया था, और उस डोमेस्टिक वर्कर्स यूनियन ने, क्योंकि लॉ में मौजूद है इफ़ द रजिस्ट्रार इज सेटिस्फाइड, वो आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन सर्टिफिकेट जारी कर सकता है। तो रजिस्ट्रेशन की बात अपनी जगह है, हम उसकी राइट्स की बात कर रहे हैं कि अगर हम उसको मुनज़्ज़म करके और आपका ये टैरिफ टूल इस्तेमाल करके लिविंग वेज पे हम बात कर सकते हैं, हम यूबीआई पे बात कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि बातचीत अब चल रही है। अब ये टॉपिक जो है पाकिस्तान में हुआ है और उस पर बहुत सारे लोग काम कर रहे हैं, तो उस पर बात कर करके उसकी पॉलिसी की तरफ जाया जा सकता है। देखिए, होम बेस्ड पॉलिसी कहीं नहीं थी, कोई कंसेप्ट नहीं था कि होम बेस पे जो लोग काम कर रहे हैं उनको कैसे कवर करेंगे, उनको कैसे रजिस्ट्रेशन करेंगे, कोई ऐसा सोच नहीं थी। बेस हुई, आपस में बातें हुई, कोई निकाला। अब होम बेस्ड वर्कर्स की सिंध में रजिस्ट्रेशन जारी है, उनको जो है उनका कोई एम्प्लॉयर अभी डिटरमाइन नहीं है कि वो एम्प्लॉयर कौन है, सो कहाँ से वो थर्ड पार्टी से लेके आ रहे हैं। मगर अब जो है उनको उनकी रजिस्ट्रेशन हो रही है, और सिंध में बाकायदा मेरे ख्याल UN वुमेन ने सपोर्ट किया उसको बहुत अच्छे तरीके से। तो रजिस्ट्रेशन के बाद उनको कार्ड जारी होंगे और उस कार्ड के तहत उनको सोशल सिक्योरिटी दी जाएगी। वन टाइम उनसे वो मेरे ख्याल में कोई फीस ले रहे हैं। तो इसी तरह डोमेस्टिक वर्कर्स के लिए एम्प्लॉयर से वन टाइम 5,000 और जो है वो सेल्फ कंट्रीब्यूशन जो है वो पे करके वो स्कीम उसके फ़ायदा हासिल कर सकते हैं। इसी तरह हम कहीं ना कहीं किसी फॉर्म में डोमेस्टिक वर्कर्स को इंगेज करना है। जैसे डोमेस्टिक वर्कर्स इंगेज होंगे तो वो उनको अट्रैक्ट करेंगे दीगर वर्कर्स को, और जब वो ऐसा ऐसा इंगेज होंगे फिर वो ऑर्गेनाइजिंग होगी, ऑर्गेनाइजिंग के बाद फिर ईमानों तक बात पहुंचेगी और पॉलिसी और सारी चीज़ें। उस पर तो आप बखूबी आप ज़बरदस्त काम कर रहे हैं, हमें तो उस पर काम करने की ज़रूरत नहीं कि आपने पहले बिल्स वगैरह बनाए हुए हैं। तो लाजमी पीछे से आवाज़ होनी चाहिए जो आवाज़ ईमानों तक पहुँचे, क्योंकि अभी तो हालिया जो पॉलिटिकल सिनेरियो है वो तो सिर्फ सीटों का है, आवाम के बारे में जो है ना कोई नहीं सुनता। मगर जब आवाज़ उठती है, आवाज़ जाती है, तो फिर कोई ना कोई उस पर बोलता है, कोई ना कोई चीज़ सामने आती है, और हम और आप जो है ना वो पका पकाया बनाकर उनको देते हैं और वो बोलते हैं अप्रूव हो गया।
हाँ, लेकिन मैं समझता हूँ उसके लिए वो जो स्पेड वर्क है, थैंक्स टू the Employers Federation of Pakistan, thanks to the Pakistan Workers Federation and similar organizations, we have the spade work and the ground ready. So once the new provincial governments and the federal government come in, at least we have the necessary documentation in place already. Not only the research reports, but also draft legislation, and also the tool that we are talking about now, the Living Tariff Tool, which is emphasizing the need for a fair compensation, emphasizing the need that the fair platform work is possible. I mean, it is not something that we are talking only in the air. It is possible. So yes, I hope that once the new governments come in, the situation will change. Thank you very much, Tasmina. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. Coming to our next speaker on the panel, we have Ms. Tania Looney from the academia. From Looney, Balochistan, holds a master's degree in development economics from the University of Queensland, Australia, and an MPhil in economics from Quaid-e-Azam University, Islamabad. With 14 years of experience in development and teaching, her expertise lies in research on global economic analysis, applied econometrics, and data economy. Her research focus extends to environmental quality, human capital, and urbanization. Over to you, Ms. Looney.
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. I would like to thank Center for Labor Research for giving me this opportunity to share my views on the tool that has been launched. First of all, it's a very useful tool to understand that how the workers in the gig economy should talk about their rights. Basically, it will give them the idea what should be the wage that should be given to them for their services they provide. Before that, going to that specific point of that tool, I would like to say that the purpose of this tool is to ensure that the workers are compensated fairly. Services they are providing, they are getting the proper income for that. When compared to the minimum wage rate, as we all know that the Living Tariff Tool tells us that the minimum wage rate is lower when compared to the Living Tariff. So we can check the disparity that is observed between the minimum wage and the Living Tariff. So creating awareness among the members of the gig economy that how they can speak about their rights, how they can get better information about their rights and their income for the services they provide through this tool is very important. But how this tool can contribute to the economy or to the social sector is that we know that most of the workers are unaware of their rights. They don't know how much they should be paid, how it's going to improve their standard of living. With the help of this tool, it's gonna develop their understanding. It's gonna make sure that the income they get, how they are going to use it, how it's going to serve in their social life, in their economic life. Definitely, as the purpose of this tool is to ensure a better standard of living by improving their access to different facilities. In that way, it's going to boost the economic activities. And how that's going to happen? It's going to happen by increase in the income of wage earners. That is the employees involved in the gig economy. When their income increases, it will lead to increase in the consumption of those workers. Not only the consumption, but it health facilities, thereby increasing the consumption pattern overall in the economy, increasing the demand for goods and services. This can support the growth because not only because whatever the economy is producing, it is demanded. When the demand increases, it will increase the growth of the economy. When we talk about the effect of this specific tool in terms of labor dynamics, how it's going to affect the labor market, it's quite important to consider that definitely when labor are aware of their rights, when they know how much income they are going to earn, definitely giving a wage higher than the minimum wage to the laborers will lead to increased costs for the firms, for the corporates. So on one side, although it's going to increase the costs for the firms and for the industry, however, on the other side, it's going to boost the economy. So as a tool, it's important. It can lead to social equity. It can lead to decline in poverty. It can lead to better health outcomes if this tool is used properly. And as mentioned by our previous panelists, according to their suggestions and what they discussed, and the team of the Labor Research Center for Labor Research described, if it's used properly, then it can be fruitful for the economy as a whole, not only just for the gig world by boosting the economic growth. So as far as the tool is concerned, I would like to highlight a few concerns that I observed while going through the data and everything, that although it is important, it is useful in, can be used for policy making. However, it's quite data intensive. As one of the speaker also, sorry, I don't know the person, the name of the lady from the team. She mentioned that it's heavily dependent upon the data. So my concern is that are the steps taken to ensure that the data collected is reliable and accurate? If not, then there should be proper steps taken to ensure that the data is reliable. Because any tool that is heavily dependent upon the data, that can be a drawback, and that can lead to misleading results if not properly tackled. One more thing I would like to highlight here. There are only, although the tool is initially launched to observe and it will be updated with the passage of time. However, it's only based on 3 provinces in case of Pakistan. Why other regions are not covered? Why Balochistan is missing? What about the capital territory? Because you may know that most of the gig workers, most of these services are provided in the capital city as well. So what about those workers? Why they are not included? Why there is no such sort of availability for them as well? So just as a suggestion that those should be included. There is one more thing I would like to highlight, that when we are talking while going through the this tool, I just observed that it's basically based on provincial data. Why not on regional data? Because there are quite regional disparities. Maybe you are, it is mentioned that it will take into consideration the inflation rate, it will take into consideration the recession and everything. But how are you going to tackle that if how it will be tackled in this tool if there are changes in the prices in different areas, because you are so how that will be tackled? So in order to improve this tool, I would suggest that these points should be considered, and most important thing in the performance of any tool is the data and the feedback. I know that in the future, a wage indicator will be working on that, improving the data, improving the data efficiency. So that's all about my side. If there are any questions, you can ask.
There's one thing that I would like to respond to before you ask further questions, Asmina. Thank you very much, Tanya, for your remarks. The first thing is that yes, the wage indicator consistently and constantly updates its data on the living wages as well as the cost of living in a country. And at the country level, Center for Labor Research engages in research constantly to ensure that the numbers that are behind this tool, they are regularly updated. The first thing. Secondly, yes, I do agree with your concern that we have left two of the provinces as well as the capital territory from being included in this. The first thing is that with the launch of this tool, I mean, obviously we are trying to see how does the tool go, and then with time in the coming weeks we plan to add the capital territory as well as the province of Balochistan as well. So yes, we do take into account your feedback and we will make sure that it is there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Looney. Now moving forward. Further in our panel, we have Mr. Muhammad Shahneed, who is a full-time freelancer for the past 5 years, has cultivated expertise in delivering high-quality services in the dynamic tech industry. Transitioning from freelancing to entrepreneurship, he is now the founder of Schneider Tech on a mission to redefine technology possibilities by seamlessly blending freelancing with entrepreneurial vision. We would like to hear your views, Mr. Shahneed. Over to you.
Thank you. First of all, thank you, Mrs. Tasmina, for giving me time to speak. Hello, guys. Hope you all are doing good. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. Thank you. So, first of all, I would like to appreciate Center of Labor Research for developing the tool. This is much needed issue which needs to be addressed. I think being a freelancer, there are multiple costs which we never even thought about that while doing the projects or while negotiations with our clients. Like we never even think about these costs which I see in the tool. So I think this is a very big issue which need to be addressed. And moving forward, moving forward to the tool, I have seen some good segments like in the if we talk about financial planning as a freelancer, we have such costs and like figures, we can do some good decisions like healthcare cost. We never even include healthcare cost while doing financial planning. We never, as a gig worker, we never even think about the pension expense and such like that. Also, I think the tool is little more complex. We talk about if we talk for it's a tool. I think as a freelancer, more than 80 to 90% freelancers are earning good amount. They might don't use the tool for checking these amounts. This tool is basically needed for those who work like in drivers, train, Ubers. For those, I think this tool is little complex. If we can improve the UI UX, like user experience of the tool, it could be very helpful. This is just a suggestion from my side. Also, I think and I think this is enough from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anil. Sir, would you like to say a few words, Sir Iftikhar?
No, please go ahead with Saris and nice because we are already going beyond the time and our speakers are waiting. So, yeah.
Okay, for further discussion, we are accompanied by Ms. Sehrish Irfan, who presently serves as Assistant Manager at the Institute of Public Opinion and Research, bringing over 4 years of research experience to her role. She recently earned her MPhil Public Policy degree from Pakistan Institute of Development Economics, with her dissertation centered on the landscape of online gig workers in Pakistan. Notably, she holds a keen interest in labor rights and aspires to contribute significantly to the field of the gig economy. Over to you, Ms. Sehrish.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for inviting me as a speaker. Like most of the things which I wanted to say have already been discussed, so I just pinpoint a few things which are still left to discuss. Like in Pakistan, inflation is rapidly increasing, and living wage is something that incorporates that component in it. So it's very important to have living wage tool. And secondly, now research is enforcing the notion that countries should adopt degrowth policies for sustainable environment and human well-being. And human well-being forms two main components, that is 4 working days per week and living wages. If government of Pakistan follows these degrowth policy because it's not the need of our as a energy scarce country, then this tool, living wage tool, will be served as a guiding principle in that case. And if we just look through the living waste tool, which I see that it's a very comprehensive tool, and it includes all the relevant information and that is needed and required, such as health cost, social security, and above all, it's hidden cost that is not being discussed normally. So I think that is a very good thing that it incorporates this cost. And secondly, I think that is a user friendly tool because it allows you to customize the options. It navigate through the sections, making it accessible for the wide range of users, like gig workers, freelancers, and platform workers, and location-based workers. And secondly, the best part of it is that it updated quarterly, and it means that ensure that information keep current and relevant. And one thing that I was while looking at this tool that I wonder that this tool actually has impact. So I analyze that uh, uh, the impact of living wage tool. So I evaluate the purchasing power of freelancers in terms of foreign currency. I get the data on the inflation and exchange rate for the years 2022 and 2023, revealing that purchasing power was 3.6 in December 2022 and 2.82 in December 2023. It shows that there was a 24% decrease in purchasing power from 2022 to 2023. Upon considering the per hour wage of the living tariff, I observed that it reverted back to 3.6, which was in 2022, December 2022. This indicates that this tool has the ability to absorb the inflation shock. So, like overall, this tool has incorporated all the cost, but I think two things can be added in when we talk about the hidden cost. First is that I believe that platform fee should be incorporated because it's 20% of each project. For instance, if a freelancer earns rupees by 1,500 per project, and we add 20% of platform fee, which is equals to rupees 300, then it leaves with only 1,200 rupees for the freelancers. I think it should be added into it. Secondly, Upwork is something and that is very difficult to find work in Upwork. So it requires connection to apply for the project. Freelancers will get 40 connection when they join the platform. Upwork is providing 10 connection per month for all the freelancers. Now in June 2023, the policies have changed and freelancer has to forgo 18 connections on each project and could buy only 6 connections per dollar. Now in Pakistan, assessing work by using a platform Upwork platform is now becoming difficult and expensive because Pakistani rupees continuously depreciating. So I think this one thing that I would think it should be added. It can be added, like the scope of hidden costs should be increased and can be improved. And secondly, I think if the the amount of living wage is in dollar will be more helpful for the freelancers. So this is all from my side.
Thank you very much, Sarish, for highlighting it, because yes, the idea of commissions that are being charged on each of the ride or delivery or each of the project that a freelancer would do, we need to see how to do it. But yes, the other thing that you said about buying the connections, I'm just amazed by the terms that how in this world of freelancing one can buy or have the connections where some people, I mean, in real world, I mean, you can't buy the connections. Well, sometimes you can do, but I mean, it's a wonderful idea, and yes, we can look into including these costs, especially for the freelancers, because it can be a higher portion of what they are going to make in a week or a month. Thank you so much. Please go ahead, Tasmina.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sarish. Well, moving on to our last but not the least, Mr. Raja Faisal Hassan Faisal. He is a labor law expert. Formerly, he worked with Employees All Days Benefit Institution. He served as Central Labor Advisor in the Ministry of Labor and Manpower for more than a decade. He drafted the Labor Policy 2010, and has been involved in drafting of labor legislation for decades. Unfortunately, he won't be joining us today, but he generously shared his insights through a recorded video. Please give me 2 minutes.
While Tasmina is going to add the video, I would request any of the participants, if you have any questions, please write them down in the chat and then we can respond to those. Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon, everyone. I'm honored to join you as a fellow panelist to discuss the significance of Living Tariff Tool. My gratitude to the Center for Labor Research for introducing this tool developed by the Wage Indicator Foundation. The Living Tariff Tool is a game changer for gig workers, providing them with simplified yet comprehensive means to assess and calculate their tariff based on job types and regional living costs. It effectively addresses the persistent challenges faced by gig workers, such as economic insecurity and the threat of earning below the minimum wage. As we delve into the objective of defining living wage for gig workers, it becomes evident that Living Tariff Tool is not just a calculator, but a catalyst for positive change in gig economy. Its commitment to empowering gig workers through free and easily accessible calculations ensures that they receive just compensation for their invaluable contributions. The tool's ability to provide insight into tariff benchmarks is commendable. Gig workers now have the tools to make informed decisions about their work and negotiate better payment terms, making a step towards more equitable compensation practices within gig economy. I believe the Living Tariff Tool holds substantial potential to positively influence workers' condition and social security framework within the gig economy. By incorporating critical components like work-related equipment costs, overheads, taxes, and social security. It offered a comprehensive approach to ensure fair compensation for gig workers. To address concerns and maintain fairness, continuous collaboration with stakeholders, indulging gig workers in is crucial. Future updates would consider adding to work experience valuable based on evolving needs and user feedback. The living tariff holistic structure encompassing wage indicators, living wage, work-related equipment costs, overheads, and income taxes and social security ensures a thorough evaluation of gig workers' compensation. Through ongoing refinement and open dialogue, we can negotiate these concerns, promoting both fair compensation and the well-being of gig workers within the evolving landscape of the gig economy. Another aspect that I found worth mentioning was the Living Tariff Tool's meticulous approach to estimating transportation costs, which add another layer of practicability. The distinction between transportation costs include in the living wage component and those factored into work equipment component showcases the tool's nuanced understanding of the diverse experience faced by gig workers. Importantly, the tool's flexibility is a key feature. It applies to everyone performing work described in the tool, whether through an online platform or not. User can adjust variables to align with their personal situations, providing a tailored and relevant experience. In conclusion, the Living Tariff Tool is not just a tool. It's a dynamic force contributing to a fairer gig economy. I look forward to exploring further insight and discussions on how this tool can be catalyst for positive change in gig workers' compensation. Thank you for having me on this esteemed panel.
Due to shortage of time, we are unable to cover questions from the participants, but you can contact us through our social media accounts or through email at info@clr.org.pk. Now I would request Mr. Iftikhar to please conclude the session.
Thank you so much for the participants to be part of the launch of the Living Tariff Tool in Pakistan, and we do hear your feedback. And thanks to the speakers that took the time to not only review the tool but also give us their valuable feedback, and we hope to incorporate not only the reasons that are currently missing and also the relevant information that needs to be there. I have been saying this in the last couple of months in every meeting that I am in is that access to a living wage is a basic labor production or a fundamental human right, irrespective of the fact that as a worker, a person is working in the formal or informal economy, or irrespective of their employment or contract status, everyone should have access to a livable wage a wage that leads to a life worth living for. And it is, yes, the workers, they need to know what that wage is, but it is also upon the corporates, the platforms, that they act accordingly, and then they gradually, at least gradually, raise the wages to a level that they become livable wages. And it also places a responsibility on the part of the governments to ensure that rather than going on with the current situation where the platforms are operating in the legal gray zone, where the current local labor legislation is not applicable to the platforms. It should not be the case. Either they can apply the already existing legislation that is already there, or they can enact new legislation. But leaving such a huge workforce without access to any of the workplace rights would not be right, because it's the job of the state to protect all people that are living and working. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time today, and I hope we can continue the talk together, and we can take this forward in the coming months. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Zahar bhai.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Asad. And if you're coming to Islamabad, do plan to meet us.